Hi, everybody. Happy summer. I hope you're all doing very well and enjoying your time off, and hopefully maybe starting to think about getting ready for this upcoming school year. It's going to be a bit of a change and obviously a lot of transitioning going on. So I want to show you guys how I've set up my classroom for this upcoming school year, as well as what I did in the past, because this is going to be a model for how you should set up your bulletin board on myCBA. So as you can see on the screen, this is my Earth Science 1 section, and this is the bulletin board for the class. And what you'll see as the first thing on here, and this is what we're going to want you to do, is set up a link that has basically your daily agendas. So I will show you how to do this if you're not sure how to do this. I'm going to show you the overall picture, and then we'll go back and look at details in case you're a little bit more adept at doing this or not. So let's take a look at this link, and this is what my students would see and would do every day. So they click on the link, and that brings them to a Google Drive folder. And within that Google Drive folder, you'll see that I have a Google Slide agenda for every single day of the school year. And this actually goes back prior to our transition to digital learning. I had been doing this for a long time, and so I just kind of changed it over to more of a digital learning style. So it just kind of included information for them to do each day. And I labeled all of these with the date, and I organized it so that you can see that it's showing the last modified item at the very top of the screen. That way, when the kids went into this, they would see basically that day's agenda right there at the top of the screen, so they didn't have to actually search for it. You can organize it by date or by name and things like that too, but that just made it a little bit easier for them. Now, just to kind of give you an example of what one of these Google Slides looks like, let's take a look at I'm just picking one at random here. This is the 29th of May. So the first thing you would want to do on your slide is to make sure that you have the date showing at the top somewhere. And then you'd probably want a list of things for them to do for that day while they're at home. And you can see here that it says like watch my video. This is a video that I made. It's kind of an introduction to the solar system. I made that through Screencastify, and then I uploaded it to YouTube, and they would just click on this link, and I'll show you what that looks like. It just brought them to my video. This is a 15-minute long video. That's really odd because I'm wearing the same shirt as I am right now. Anyway, this is the solar system introduction video, and it's, again, just kind of my PowerPoint, some information, some pictures, and some videos, and all kinds of stuff in this video that they would watch. And then after they did that, I gave them something to do. And that day, that was a kind of an interesting day. I actually didn't give them any questions or anything, but I gave them like a task to do. I also put on here any other videos that I found interesting. So I would just kind of upload them from Google, and I can show you, or from YouTube, I can show you how to do that. I put in, sometimes I would add an announcement, just an audio file. So I did that through Screencastify as well. And they would just listen to that. I didn't need to show them anything. I just wanted them to listen.
All right, good morning, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick announcement.
So it just kind of tells them about what's going on for that day. So anyway, so that's kind of what the daily agenda would look like. And you can add more slides to this, or you can add more information to this, however you see fit, according to your class, obviously. But the nice thing, the beauty of Google Slides is that you can kind of manipulate it, make it look good, add a lot of information, add more slides if you want to, and it just kind of pretties everything up a little bit. It's a little bit more user-friendly outside of myCBA. So that's your daily agenda slide. So what we're wanting you to do is essentially set up on your myCBA account a link to a Google Drive folder with daily agendas for each day. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk you through how to set up that process. Now, if you already know how to do this, if you have some idea of what I've done, then feel free to just skip the rest of this video and get to it. If you don't, then you might as well watch the rest of this, and I can kind of walk you step by step through what to do. But, well, let me just point out one thing, and that is that I have here on myCBA a link, which is really easy to make a link to a Google Drive folder. I also have, and I just did this for this upcoming year, I made an embedded file. So rather than going to that Google Drive folder, they can actually see those files here, and they can click on each one individually, and that will actually just bring them to the file. So it kind of skips a step, and that's kind of nice too if you want to do it that way. And I can show you that little trick of how to do this later on. I'll put that at the very end of the video. Not necessary. The link works too. Okay, so let's start with the very basics. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to Enter Edit Mode. And from there, you're going to want to put into your bulletin board a link. And to do that, you would make sure that over here you have dragged in the links option. I already did that, so you can see it's dragged in here. And then you're going to add a link. Okay, so you just click Add. You'd probably want to call it Daily Agendas. Okay, and here's where you would actually put the URL in. And so you would just copy paste the URL from your Google shared folder and just click Save. Now, to show you how to get that URL, I'm going to do that right here. Okay, so I've already established a folder, and you can make a folder to say New Folder. Okay, but I'm going to just use this folder that's already established. And I want to get the link for this folder. So there's this little thing that's got people on it. I'm going to click that. And you're going to see down here at the bottom, you want to get the link. So I'm going to change this because I want anyone with this link to be able to view that. You could do it with just CBA people, but I always ran into kids that were like, I'm not in my CBA email and like couldn't get into the file. So just eliminate all that mess and just say anyone with this link can get to this. Okay, and you can change that here. And I'm just going to copy that link, and then I'm going to go back to my myCBA page, and I'm just going to paste that in there and then click Save. Okay, so I've made a Daily Agendas folder, and it just links to this folder that I've already made over here. Okay, I'm going to delete that because I don't want my kids to see that. Delete that from everywhere forever. Okay, so there we go. So we've established a link in myCBA, and now what your students will see is right here at the top of the page, this link for that Google Drive folder. Okay, now let's talk about the Google Drive folder. So in your Google Drive folder, let's just make a new one for an example. Okay, I'm going to call it Daily Agendas. All right, and what we're going to do, I'll just put this into my drive. Okay, so it's in my drive here. Did that a little bit backwards, but that's okay. So here's my Daily Agendas folder. So I'm going to open that up, and in here is where you're going to drop all your Daily Agendas files, and you can create a new Google slide. Okay, create and share, and this is where you would actually edit a presentation. Now, if you want mine as a template, I'd be happy to send it along to you. Just send me an email, and I can give you the template for it. You can change the layout of a Google slide really easily and change what this looks like. Whatever you want to do to just make your daily agenda. Just one thing I'll just say is make sure that you have the date on your slide for that day. Okay, so that's a Google slide, and we can add all kinds of things into this. So let's say watch my video on stars. Okay, I'm just making something up. Now, if I want my students to be able to see that video, I can do a lot of different things, but the easiest thing is to just add a URL here. So I'm just highlighting this, and I'm going to insert a video, or I'm going to insert a link or something of that nature. So I'm going to insert a link in this case, and this is where I would copy and paste my maybe my YouTube video or my Screencastify video, and I would just put the link in there. Okay, and then that is just going to show up as a nice, easily clickable thing, and they can just go right to it from there. Rather than having them jump all over the place, it's just in one place. You can say, answer these questions, and do the exact same thing, and maybe you have some questions under a Google form or something of that nature. Whatever you want to do, you just put it in here for your students to do for that day. This is your creativeness will come out in this slide, and you can add all kinds of stuff in here. If I want to insert a video from YouTube that I thought was interesting, I can say insert video, and you can just type in the URL for that video, or even search for a video in here and just paste it in there. Pretty simple and straightforward, and it'll show up as a picture with the video right there, and they can just click on that link. If you want to insert an audio file, like I showed you before, you just insert audio, and you just essentially just take whatever audio files you have and put them in there. You can do that through Screencastify as well. Okay, so this is great because you can insert all kinds of stuff into this slide, and it makes it nice and pretty, and it makes it easier for your students to be able to see it all in one place. Okay, so that's your daily agenda. And again, you can also add slides to this. So just add another slide. Okay, and you can change the layout of that however you want to edit this. It's up to you. Okay, so that's Google Slide. This is daily agendas and your Google Drive folder. And you have your myCBA page. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics. If you have any questions about any of these things in particular or need help with anything, I'd be happy to help you. We can work through it on Zoom, or we can get together at the beginning of the school year, somehow socially distance, but we'll figure it out together. Just don't hesitate to reach out to me. Okay. Now, last tip for those of you that like this thing right here, where I actually have the daily agendas embedded into myCBA, and I basically skip over that Google Drive folder. Now, the one thing is that you still have to establish a Google Drive folder. Okay, I still need some daily agendas folder. It's not like I eliminated that folder and it's gone. No, I still need that. Okay, I still need this folder, and I need the link to that folder in particular. Okay, so when I'm in here and I'm sharing this thing, I'm going to need that link. And I want to specifically see these numbers that are in here right here. Okay, and these are the numbers that are important. I'm just going to copy those. But first, let me show you this. I'm going to put this in the description underneath this video because it's going to go on YouTube. This is I just typed in how do you embed a Google Drive folder into a website, and it gave me this information. So if I want it in list view or grid view, this is just kind of a nice feature. I did it in grid view, and you can see here I just took this information and I copied it and pasted it into myCBA. Now, the one thing that you're going to have to change in particular is the ID, which is right here, this ID number. So you want to change that, and you can change that by just taking that from your ID number, which is right here in the Get Link option. Okay, so you would want to put that in that little spot right there where it says ID number. I'm going to copy and paste this. So Control A for all these things. Not all that. I want this. Okay. Control C. I'm going to go back to my bulletin board here, and I'm going to enter edit mode. And what I want to do is embed something. So I'm going to click over here and drag embed into here, which I've already done. I'm going to click the little pencil there, and here's where you're going to copy and paste your embed code. All right, so you just Control V. There it is. Okay. That embed code is going to go right in there, and then you want to edit this number right here, this ID number. This information right here has to be your daily agendas folder number, and you just have to just take that from here and copy it and paste it in the correct place. Okay, so that's just a little added feature. If you want to go a step above, if you're kind of tech savvy, you can try that out. It makes it look a little bit nicer, but it's not an essential thing. A link is easy, and it works just the same way. So anyway, that's it. Guys, if you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to ask. Like I said, you can email me, you can call me if you want to, and hopefully we can work this out together. All right, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your summer.